Hey guys, and welcome to part 2 of my 20,000 subscriber special, which is my Q&A. So I don't really have much of an introduction. I mean, it's only a Q&A, so I guess we'll just get right into it. Oh my gosh, okay, I have over 500 questions on YouTube and like 50 tweets tweeted at me. I was worried I wasn't going to get enough questions. What the heck, guys? Alright, so it seems I'm getting a lot of questions about my origin story, like what got me into Minecraft, what got me into YouTube, and what got me into Hypixel. So I'm going to answer all three of these questions in one right now. So I first got into Minecraft 8 years ago when I was a Roblox player. Don't judge me too harshly, okay guys? I was 10 years old at the time, but I did see an advert for Minecraft. It was in its alpha stage. It was this whole browser game thing, not really much in it. It was just like creative mode and you could place a few blocks, build a house or something like that, and I found it really fun. You know, I didn't play it all that much, but as like updates came through, it went into beta and eventually public, and when it became public was when I really started getting into it. I used to play survival all the time, and then I joined my first Skyblock server back in 2011 or 2012, and I've been playing it a lot ever since. As for how I got into Hypixel, I used to own a Minecraft server. This is a topic for another video, but basically the gist of it was I used to own my own Skyblock server. I owned it for about 2 years and it was actually quite popular, and one of my players on there was like, yo, this minigame server by Hypixel has just been released, and I knew about Hypixel. Like, I'd seen his game modes like the walls and some of his adventure maps like Herobrine's Return and all that kind of stuff. So I decided to go on Hypixel with this guy. It was in beta mode at the time. It was only like paintball, bow spleef, quakecraft and something else. I think I can't really remember all that well, but I know those were like the original games, and I really enjoyed it, and yeah, I've just been playing it ever since. As for how I got into YouTube, it's been something that I've always wanted to do ever since YouTube was released. So when I was a little kid, I was like, I want to be a YouTuber one day. And back when I used to play Club Penguin and Roblox back in like 2006 when I was only 7 years old, I actually did make quite a few YouTube videos on those games, like with no commentary or anything. I just made a few like gameplay videos or showcasing my items and all that kind of stuff. It was so cringy. I've long since deleted those. But yeah, when I finally racked up the nerve to commentate, I decided to when I was playing Mega Wars, because that was the game that I was really into at the time, and obviously my channel took off, which was amazing, and I've just been doing it ever since. It's Butter Guy asks, what is your favorite food? I'm going to give you the generic response of every teenager in the world and say pizza. That is what I live for, man. I eat way too much of the stuff. This is an interesting question asked by Dodidwiret. I don't know how to pronounce that, man. I'm so sorry, but he says, will I be making Refraction merchandise in the future? I mean, like, maybe? It'll be like hundreds of thousands of subscribers in the future, but maybe? I don't know. The Real Abster YT asks, how did I get so popular so fast? And I wouldn't say I got really popular really quickly. You've got to remember Hypixel was released nearly 4 years ago now, and I have been playing on Hypixel since then. So I've built up a very big name for myself in the community over a long period of time. But how I initially got known was in Mega Wars. I was one of the first Prestige Endermen, one of the first Prestige Zombies, and I used to no-life that game so hard. And I was a staff member, so I stood out, and that made me really well known and really well noticed, which I think is how like that got the ball rolling for my YouTube channel initially. But as for my recent popularity, I guess that kind of spanned from my initial popularity, but it just comes from like hard work and being as interactive with you guys as possible. That's why I try to stream so much. I hang out in lobbies a lot and talk to you guys and all that kind of stuff. You know, I don't consider myself a YouTuber. I'm just a member of the Hypixel community, as I'm sure most of you guys are. I just happen to have a YouTube channel, so yeah, I like to just interact with the community, and I feel that helps with your reputation. Chicken 2017 asks, what PC do I use and what's the history behind my PC? Well, I'm very fortunate with the computer that I have. I have a very good computer. It has an Intel i7-4790K processor, an Nvidia GeForce GTX Titan X graphics card, and 32 gigs of RAM. And no, it's not just for playing Minecraft on, don't worry. But I am very fortunate to have this computer. I do not take it for granted whatsoever. I saved up for 4 years for this computer, all of my pocket money for 4 years, and all of the profits from the Minecraft server that I used to own went towards this thing, and even then I didn't have enough money. My parents put the final bit towards it because I got really good grades at the end of high school. So yeah, a lot of hard work went into getting this thing. But before this, my very first own computer was this really slow laptop. I got like 20 or 30 FPS on Minecraft, and that was when I first started playing Hypixel. And then when I decided to start up YouTube, I got a little upgrade. I got this really small tower-like PC with like a GT 620 graphics card hard in it, and I pulled like 40 to 50 FPS on Minecraft, which was an improvement. You know, I started YouTube with like 30 FPS videos and all that kind of stuff, and I only got this computer fairly recently, in all honesty. I only got it in summer 2015. Golden Bond asks, what's my biggest mistake and what did I learn from it? Well, I'm still quite young. I'm sure I have a lot more mistakes to make and a lot more to learn, but one of my most recent really big mistakes was the decision to quit YouTube. Now, about 6 months ago, when I had between 9,000 and 10,000 subscribers, I had lost all interest and motivation to play Minecraft because, for those of you that don't know, I used to play Blitz and Mega Walls, and those games were impossible to play with my reputation. I got targeted so hard in those games, and it was so stressful to record them. I was trying to start up a Skywars series at the time, but it really wasn't doing well in comparison to those series, so I tried to force myself to grind out Blitz and Mega Walls, but it just didn't work. It really stressed me out, and I was just like, you know what, I'm done. And then it hit me, like, I just threw away an audience of 10,000 people. I'm not going to get that chance again. I'm an idiot. I'm so lucky to have 10,000 subscribers. Why did I do that? So I decided to come back and really push myself and push Skywars on my channel to try to make it a more popular series, and now it's the most popular my channel has ever been. My channel has been exploding because of it, so it was such a good decision because I genuinely love YouTube. It is my favorite hobby by far, and I really love doing it, and it was so stupid of me to throw it away, especially when I had done so well. I just didn't realize I had done so well, and I guess it was kind of a good thing because it made me put a lot more effort into my channel. You know, before I was just kind of coasting along, but this made me really push myself. You know, I was like, I'm going to make this work. I can't play Mega Wars or Blitz anymore, so I'm going to make Skywars work, okay? And I did. Like, my Skywars videos do so well now, and my channel is doing the best it's ever done, and I am so happy. I was an idiot for almost throwing that all away. Vort asks, how did I get my skin and who made it? Well, I made my skin because, well, I'm really bad at art, okay? My favorite color is the color blue, hence the color of the skin, but I didn't just want like a solid blue man, so I tried to draw a face on it, but I'm so bad at art, so that's how I came up with the face that I have now. And I guess I never really bothered to change it, you know? It's kind of good. I like it. And the reason that it has a really big head, like another layer on top of it, is because it was a really cheap strategy in Mega Wars back in the day. Back in the days when people didn't really understand Mega Wars so much, the only way that you could tell what class somebody was by their head, because obviously if they were playing Enderman, they'd have an Enderman face. If they were playing Skeleton, they'd have a skeleton face. And if you had this extra helmet layer, what it did was it overlaid like that extra head that Mega Wars gave you. So like people could never tell what class I was because all they'd see was that massive blue head. I was a scumbag, man. Diamond Dino Gaming asks, when I was a kid, what was my dream job? Well, my dream job as a kid was to develop games. I really loved gaming as a kid. Well, I still do, but like I played my first game when I was 2 years old, and I pretty much haven't stopped since, so I really wanted to be a games developer, and that's kind of evolved a little bit. I don't so much want to develop games anymore, but I still do want to go into software development, so it's still kind of the same dream job, I guess. But nowadays, like, my less realistic dream job is to carry on doing YouTube for a living because I genuinely love doing this, and it would be amazing if I got the opportunity to do it, but obviously it's a bit less realistic. John Sawyers asks, what was the last picture in my camera roll? Well, I actually tweeted this out a couple of days ago, but for those of you that haven't seen it, this is the last picture in my camera roll. If it wants to focus, come on, focus. There we go. I'm such an idiot. Willington asks, why is my name Refraction? And well, quite a few people have asked me this actually, but my old username used to be Call of Duty that I made when I was like 10 years old. And for those of you that don't understand the pun in that, well, I used to play a lot of Call of Duty, and my name in real life is Callum, so people call me Cal, and obviously it was a bit of a play on words, you know, Call of Duty, Call of Duty. I thought I was funny at the time, but I realized that I was a massive loser, so I changed my username to Refraction because I really like physics. Like, it's always really interested me, and I like the concept of refraction, you know, with the whole like prism and light going through it and all that kind of stuff. And something that's cool about the name Refraction as well is that it's actually like a proper word, which is rare to find for a username, and also no gaming channels had taken the name at all, which is also really rare for something that's actually a word as opposed to like a username, so it was just like perfect, so I just took it. Styx asks, will I ever join the Hypixel staff team again? And honestly, I would really like to. I really miss being a part of the Hypixel staff team because, for those of you that don't know, I was a staff member on Hypixel for 2 years. I was a junior helper for 3 months, I was a helper for 9 months, and then I was a mod for a year. But like, the reason I left is that it's really hard to balance YouTube and being a staff member, as both are really time consuming, and obviously being a staff member, everyone can message you, which is difficult for a YouTuber, you know, especially when you're trying to deal with hack reports, and there's a mix of people messaging you with hack reports and people being like, OMG, I love your channel, and all that kind of stuff. I don't think it's really possible for the two to coexist, so I don't think I'll ever join the staff team again, as much as I would like to. Drevant asks, can I sing for you guys? And well, I don't want anybody to unsub when they hear my singing, so I'm not gonna do it. I'm sorry, man. Nico Salas asks, how many siblings do I have? I have a little brother, I have a little half brother, I have a little step brother, and I have a little step sister, but I only live with my little brother. The rest of them live separately from me. The Limpus Blitzkid asks a really interesting question. He says, if I could choose any one of Hypixel's game mode's community to be 100% fixed, which one would it be? And I think honestly it would be the UHC Champions community, because I think that is by far the worst out of every single one on the server. And though I'm not really much of a UHC Champions player, the only reason that I don't play it is because the community is so bad that playing it is just a really unenjoyable experience, especially when you're well known in the community. Because like Mega Walls and Blitz, it's kind of tolerable, but especially in UHC when it's such a long game and there's so many competitive players in it, I just think it's such a toxic environment, and that would be the one that I would fix. I also think the staff team are having such a hard time fixing it because it's a really large game mode. Like, there's so many people playing it and there's so many people per game that mods just can't keep up with it. And obviously there's so many hackers, cheaters, X-rays, all that kind of stuff. It's just bad, man. I really admire Hypixel UHC YouTubers. I don't know how you guys do it, especially before you had the YouTube ranks. Like, what? It is really a game that I do want to get into and start uploading more on my channel, and I probably will once I have the YouTube rank, but like, the only reason that I haven't really done it much before now is because of how bad the community in that game is. Blocker TP asks, why do I never swear in my videos? I don't swear much in real life at all, so I don't really see a need to do it in my videos either. And I wouldn't really swear in public, you know. If I'm going to swear, it's going to be between friends or where only a few people can hear it, not where thousands of people can hear it. Like, I wouldn't even swear on the street or something where other people can hear it, let alone where I'm talking to an audience of 20,000 people. I just don't feel like it's necessary. I don't know. Zootij Co, I think that's how you say it, asks, what do I study at college and do I like it? I study software development and web design, and I really love it. My college course ends this summer and I'm going on to university to study it for another 3 years, and my intention is that I'm moving to California to do my master's degree in this and then pursue a career somewhere in software development. I'm a massive nerd, aren't I? Captain Yoshi asks, what's my biggest motivator for me to continue doing YouTube? And that is purely the fact that I love doing it. That is literally the only drive that I have, the fact that I love doing it and the fact that you guys love watching it and I get so much positive feedback. It is amazing. The community of my channel is so amazing. Like, I couldn't ask for better. So seriously, thank you all so much. You are my motivation. I am my motivation. And yeah, I think both of those just work really well and make me want to carry on doing this to the best of my ability and for as long as possible, really. Anyway guys, I have no idea how long this video is going to be, but I have over half an hour of footage recorded now, so I don't want to make this video too long. So thank you all for watching, thank you all for your questions, and thank you all for 20,000 subscribers. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and a comment and all that good stuff that you guys normally do. You're really good at doing that, so I'll trust you all with it. And yeah, I'll see you all next time. Peace.